Hey fact Trojan, if I sneeze, will that affect the future? Yes it will. The fact that you are watching this video right now instead of doing anything else is affecting the future in profound ways. Even because of your smallest of decisions, everyone's life in the future will be drastically affected. This video will explain this concept called sensitive dependence on initial condition, otherwise known as the butterfly effect. Today, we have my friend Lucy with us, which will explain the concept of butterfly effect further.
Hello viewers, before I will try to explain the butterfly effect, I would like to ask a few questions. What would the world be like today if someone knocked on the door of Hitler's parents' house the moment he was being conceived? If the future is that sensitive, then is it possible to predict it? Or even is there the future to see into? Do we have free will, and if we do, how does that change the future? Does randomness exist? Or is every moment the mathematical progression of every event of the previous moment?
This is going to be somewhat lengthy, but Lucy and I will try to keep it interesting. It is important that you really grasp the concept, so that you can relate it to all the other concepts that we are going to try to tie together. You do not have to be a genius or a mathematics wizard to comprehend these concepts, but you do have to commit to a lot of thinking.
What is the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect, as it is known, is the idea that the disturbance of the air by a single butterfly is enough to change the weather patterns all over the world. In the early 1960s, a meteorologist was running computerized equations to theoretically model and predict weather conditions. Having run a particular sequence, he decided to replicate it. Lorenz re-entered the number from his printout, taken halfway through the sequence, and left it to run. What he found upon his return was, contrary to his expectations, these results were radically different from his first outcomes.
Sensitive dependence on initial condition.
Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things if I drive 61 miles per hour or 62? Yes, it does. Consider this for a moment. Have you ever approached an intersection and see someone barrel through a red light and think, if I were going through this light 1/4 second sooner, this guy would have killed me? Similarly, you read about traffic accidents where someone does run a red light and kills the unfortunate person who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. What is the difference between you and them? Well, you were lucky enough to live to tell about it. If things were slightly different, you might not be here. Looking back, you could have been there 1/4 second earlier. Perhaps if someone hadn't cut you off 2 blocks earlier, you wouldn't have lost the 1/4 second that saved your life. If the music on the radio had been a more upbeat tune, then you might have driven slightly faster. Maybe it was the temperature outside, it was cold and it took 1/4 second longer for your car to start. Maybe you saw some hot-looking woman and you slowed down a little to get a good look. There could have been millions of reasons that if changed would have not prevented you from being the 1/4 second late and saving you from a deadly car accident. That 1/4 second changed everything.
Now, I have an example for you, in which just killing a mosquito could possibly risk the lives of thousands of people. Suppose you shifted to a new house, and your neighbor is a sleeping cell terrorist, and he is planning to bomb a famous event, where thousands of people will come, but you don't know anything about it. So you're just basically enjoying your day and suddenly, you encountered a mosquito that's enjoying your hand's blood. You can easily kill it, right? And some people will enjoy it too. But then, you decided not to kill that small buddy and you just let it go. But that tiny guy was a Reed's mosquito, which caused you dengue. But then, it flied over to your terrorist neighbor's house and that mosquito bit him too. Consequently, he also got affected by dengue, and his condition got worse, and because of that, he was not able to plant the bomb on that day. Now suppose that what would happen if you have killed that mosquito that day. Of course you will be saved by dengue, but then thousands of people's life will be on stake.
Well, I have an interesting fact for you. For any of us to have been born, everything at the moment of conception had to happen exactly the way it did, or we wouldn't be here. And it also applies to all our ancestors. My parents, their parents, all the way back to the beginning of life on Earth. If any event happened differently that it did, no one who is alive today would exist. If you went back far enough, the human race might cease to exist because of the air passing over the wings of some prehistoric butterfly. So, next time you go to a museum where they have some 100 million old mosquito encased in amber, think to yourself that if not for that mosquito, the entire human race might not exist.
Thank you, Lucy, for sharing information on this topic with us. Comment if you have realized some day-to-day examples of butterfly effect in your life. Subscribe to know more about the universe, and thanks for watching.